Growing up, British game show Family Fortunes was a mainstay in the ITV schedule. With its survey-based format, memorable contestants, trademark sound effects, and overall naffness, it was perfect early evening viewing. Around 544 episodes were broadcast between 1980 and 2003, having 4 hosts in that time. Comedian Bob Monkhouse, entertainer Max Bygraves, comedian Les Dennis, and Andy Collins. I mostly remember Dennis as host, when the show went from strength to strength in the late 1980s, 1990s, and early 2000s. Having such a long run may sound like it went on forever, but it is important to remember that the show ran on a weekly basis. It wasn't until many years later that I learned that the format was based on Goodson-Todman daytime and evening show Family Feud, which ran from 1976 to 1985, with British-come-American entertainer Richard Dawson at the helm. Seeing episodes of The Feud, it is fascinating to see the differences in presentation and style, held together by the same tight format. I admit that some of Dawson's tendencies, like kissing female contestants regularly, do come across as a bit creepy in this day and age, but I do like him as a host. He has the roguish wit of an English comic, but with the pizzazz of an American. It is easy to see how Monkhouse became host of the British version, given that the two men share some similar traits. Quite how Feud became Fortunes, though, I dread to think. Although we're dealing with ITV, it's important to remember, and they are not quite as snobby as the BBC appeared to have been in the past. Maybe it was a case that they felt the word feud had certain connotations, and perhaps wasn't English enough. Who knows? Now that I know of its existence, I very much enjoy watching an episode or two of Family Feud. There's plenty of them when I can, although I much prefer the first version with Richard Dawson. US Game Show Network Buzzer had some episodes on Amazon Prime Video once, which I came to like. Once I got over the kissing thing, of course. Now, the Ray Coombs era of the late 80s and early 90s seems a little too close to Les Dennis for my liking, and the latter ones lack the charm of the original. I have enjoyed it when the Steve Harvey episodes, the latest ones, have played out on Challenge TV, but the constant innuendo and traits of the modern game show make me less likely to want to catch it often. So, Family Feud, or Family Fortunes, you may be asking. Well, that's a tough one for me. You're asking me to choose between something I enjoyed as a child versus something I enjoy as an adult. As a British person, you'd expect me to say Fortunes because of national pride and such like, but I have to base my decision on which version does the show better. And for me, it's Dawson's Feud. The best of both worlds, if you will. English and American. Thanks for listening to A Brit Talks Vintage TV podcast. Email us on abrittalkstv@oldtimereview.co.uk. Please remember to rate, comment and subscribe on your favourite podcast provider.